Mask mandates in schools is now just the tip of the iceberg. Today in New York City, it started requiring proof of vaccination for some indoor activities, including indoor dining, going to gyms, and also those entertainment venues. It's a lot to take in. Let's welcome in our panelist for the hour to react. Former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is joining us live. Also with us, columnist and BizPac Review and attorney Erin Elmore here with us as well. And Erin, when you look at New York City, I believe it's about 70% of New Yorkers have been vaccinated at this point, and so they would have access to a vaccine card or whatever app they've downloaded on their phone. But quite frankly, Erin, it's not everyone, and for whatever reason people might have, they still might not be vaccinated at this point. Does that mean that they would not be able to participate in what you'd consider the sort of normal life activities?
It certainly does look that way, and this is a complete and utter police state. And it's also very troubling that we are not following the science about natural immunity. Several people in this country, way more than several, thousands of people have natural immunity from this disease. Therefore, they probably don't need to be vaccinated. Why European countries are accepting this and American cities and states are not is blowing my mind. You know why? It's because pharmaceuticals are a big business. This is now COVID Inc. There is money to be made here. And what I would encourage restaurants to do is fight back. They have to say to de Blasio or their local state officials, hey, I am not an arm of the government. I don't want to be a part of this police state. This is an experimental drug that is not yet approved by the FDA. Am I off the hook legally like the pharmaceutical companies are? These are questions that these restaurants and gyms need to be asking themselves. And what I would do if I really wanted to participate in New York City society, by the way, I don't. I would ask for both a medical and a religious exemption because this is absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
I agree completely with Erin. You're likely going to see some lawsuits moving forward.
Yeah, of course. Official guidance from the CDC, the vaccines are safe and effective and also encouraged as well. All right, Scott Walker, Erin Elmore, George Papadopoulos, stay with us. A lot more to cover here on National Report.
Different speech than the rest of you guys. I was appalled. There was such a profound, bold-faced lie in that speech. The idea that we planned for every contingency. I have been personally trying to tell this administration since it took office. I've been trying to tell our government for years that this was coming.
Fiery comments there about President Biden's remarks on Afghanistan from U.S. war veteran Matt Zeller. Our panelist returns, Scott Walker, Erin Elmore, George Papadopoulos. Good to see all of you here. Governor, I'll go straight to you on this. What do you make of the mainstream media's glowing coverage of President's speech? Again, I'll give that to Brian Williams. There were others, but that one, it takes the cake.
Yeah, I retweeted that, reposted it on my social media platforms because that was the rebuttal to Joe Biden. I mean, I don't think anybody could have given it any better than that. We used to talk about peace through strength in America under Ronald Reagan. What we have under Joe Biden is chaos through incompetence.
Stopped with him, but in fact, the speech was full of finger pointing and blame.
Catastrophic exit. There is really so many other adjectives that you can use. That one seems to be on point, though, as far as the exit. Erin, I would go as far to say is that the American people, the uproar, if you will, it didn't require a speech from the president. It required questions from the press to the president, and we didn't get that, Erin.
We did not. Instead, he hopped back on his plane and went back on vacation. The bigger problem here in America, and there are a lot of people that are complicit, we have corporations, we have leftists, we have social media platforms that ban people, and all they care about right now is wokeism. They care more about wokeism or patriotism or terrorism, and those are some other isms we need to be caring about. People post their black squares. They create a new rainbow flag. There are 15,000 genders and ways to identify yourself, but there's no one that loves the flag and stands up for our country. We are a joke on the international stage. We have been made a mockery of because of people on the left who are complicit with our president and with our military. This needs to end. Forget kneeling. We have to start saying we love America and we are the greatest and strongest nation in the world. We are not feared. We are not loved. We are laughed at. And this is shameful.
George Papadopoulos, it is still a dangerous situation, if you will, when you think of the airport there in Kabul.
Because I obviously have a conflict, and there are rules at CNN about that. My position has never changed. I never misled anyone about the information I was delivering or not delivering on this program. It was a unique situation being a brother to a politician in a scandal and being part of the media. I tried to do the right thing, and I just want you all to know that.
And CNN approved his brother's appearances back in March of 2020. Erin Elmore, your thoughts on what we just heard from Chris Cuomo?
I mean, CNN is a Democrat super PAC that's completely complicit with the left-wing mob. So it's hard to take anything that he says seriously. Hopefully there will be more statements like this, and maybe they should really have a literal and figurative come to Jesus moment about the news that they're reporting. And I have to use the word news lightly because until yesterday, what Jake Tapper said, they haven't been serious. Look at this. This is so shameful. The bloviating and just covering for what Cuomo has done as a governor. He was killing people in nursing homes. He was sexually harassing women. You need to do more, Chris Cuomo of CNN, other than saying, whoops, sorry, my brother was a politician. That's why I didn't cover it. He should have lost his show. He should have stepped down and said, hey, I can't cover a nightly news show when my brother is a politician in this news right now. So honestly, it's a little bit too little, too late. CNN's credibility is already completely destroyed. So honestly, I think that's why the ratings are where they are.
All right, I'll give the final 30 seconds to George and take your pick on whichever Cuomo brother you'd like to comment on.
Well, I think a resignation isn't accountability, and I think that's exactly what the New York population really is demanding.
Topic: nearly 70% of Americans disapprove of how President Biden has handled the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Of that, a wide majority strongly disapprove, as you can see on the poll on your screen. Panelists weighing in, back with us. George Papadopoulos, I'll start with you on this. What do you make of this? Obviously, the polling and so many of Americans not approving of the handling of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. What are Americans seeing, in your opinion?
I think what Americans are looking at are sunk costs and costs that are never going to be retrieved to the American public. And those costs came in the form of $2.3 trillion, thousands dead, tens of thousands wounded, and countless others suffering from PTSD.
It was chaos. It was poor planning. And there's no fear of our government anymore because we know that Joe Biden is not cogent and completely asleep at the wheel. There's no fear of America anymore. We are seen as completely cuckolded as a nation, and it's very sad. And people have buyer's remorse. That's what's going on here. This is so sad for the Afghan people. You see what fear they have to be climbing through the airport like that. And this is such a tragic time for the world and for America alike. And I think this is, like I said earlier, a real come to Jesus moment. We need to say to ourselves as a nation, what do we want to be? Do we want to be a nation of platitudes, or do we want to be a nation of power and strength? Right now, it's the former, and we need a lot more of the latter.
Governor Walker, in closing, I'll leave this the floor open to you. Obviously, at 1:30 this afternoon, we will finally hear from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. You'll hear from NSA Jake Sullivan as well. When you hear from them, they're the ones that take questions. What do you predict will be asked today, and perhaps what do you think will be answered?
Well, unfortunately, I think we're going to get a lot of answers. I do think things will get worse for the president. Nearly 70% disapprove. I think that number will go higher.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Governor Walker, always good to hear from you. Erin Elmore, as you as well. George Papadopoulos, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you being our panelist today.